Hi, we're Under Oath.
And this is how we beat the Reaper.
I got a good one. In 2006, we were recording To Find the Great Line, and we did part of the record in Atlanta and the other part in Massachusetts. And I went home for like a week in between doing drums and then meeting the rest of the band. And on my flight back, I had a flight from Tampa to Hartford, and then Hartford to Boston. On the flight to Hartford from Tampa, I smelled something burning. The flight attendants are yelling, and the plane is just plummeting out of the sky. And come to find out, I'm obviously alive, but there was a fire in the cockpit they put out with a fire extinguisher. We made this emergency landing, and it was wild because people with babies were like screaming and crying and telling their children goodbye and Hail Marys and the whole fucking thing, and it was insane. But I lived to tell a story.
I've got a couple, I'd say. One in particular, one random one was we were on tour and we were in Texas somewhere. We all went out to this Mexican restaurant. Everyone ordered the beef, and I ordered the chicken. And at some point in the next 6 hours, I became deathly ill. I was vomiting, shitting, just couldn't keep anything down. I had really bad food poisoning, and it got to the point where, the bus driver couldn't keep stopping, so I'm basically pretty much naked in the front lounge, dying on the bus, and he throws me over his shoulder. So same driver we have now, and this was in 2008 or 9 or something like that. He throws me over his shoulder, walks me into the hospital, gets me hooked up to an IV. It's the only show I've ever missed in our entire career because I was in the hospital. They were like, within hours you would have been dead from dehydration. So I beat the Reaper there. We also were on a flight in South America that got struck by lightning. We lost power and dropped.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, the whole plane dropped.
We were in Chile, and here's the funny part: is before we got on that flight, this was in Santiago, Chile. There was an earthquake and we were in the airport, and all these windows were glass, and you can just see the whole thing like flexing. And then we got on a flight and got struck by lightning.
Yeah, and that plane almost crashed. Another time we beat the Reaper is the first time we went to Russia. We took the subway to the Red Square.
Wow.
I got good ones. We took the subway to the Red Square, and we did the tourist thing. We were super jet lagged and tired, so we all took taxis back to the hotel.
At like 9:30, which is not our typical MO.
And we wake up in the morning, everyone's wife, everyone's parents, they were texting nonstop because the subway had a terrorist attack that night
at the stop that we were at.
So we had all told our families, we were going to go.
20 or 30 people were killed at the stop that we were at.
There was a terrorist attack. If we would have gotten back on the subway to go home, that we would have probably been involved in.
We took a train one time between Russia, between St. Petersburg and Moscow. And it's like this really old...
Looks like the Harry Potter train.
It's like from the Cold War. The train is, and they've repurposed it as a passenger train. These guys were banging on our door all night. They just wanted to fight with Americans. These huge guys. We fled the Reaper on that one, too.
Yeah.
They would have killed us.
Oh, here's another one. So in 2004, we're on tour with Coed and Cambria. I get hit in the head by Tim, right? And then the next night, he hits me in the same exact spot in the temple and knocks me out. Remember that? And when I went to the doctor, they were like, if you get hit in the temple one more time, you're going to literally have brain damage. And I said, well, what am I supposed to do? He goes, don't play a show tomorrow or wear a football helmet. Got back on stage and we played a damn show anyway. Remember when we didn't have money and we were driving from Seattle across country? They told us the van, if we used the brakes, that was going to catch on fire and we were going to explode. And they were trying to get us to spend all this money to fix the van.
We didn't have the money.
And we didn't have the money. And we just said, we got to get home somehow. And we managed. It was me, you, and Chris. The rest of the guys stayed behind or something, or flew or whatever. Me, you, and Chris had to get the van back with barely using the brakes. And I think we did a whole cross-country drive with only using the brakes to stop to get gas.
Yeah, we drove. So we drove, me, him, and Chris drove.
They gave us a fire extinguisher. They're like, if you're not going to pay for it, here's your best option. And
we drove from Seattle, Washington
to Florida.
Tampa, Florida, and only used the brakes to get gas.
Yep. I don't know. I've had a lot of near-death experiences. I guess it was time when I decided to do that.
You don't realize any of that shit until you start talking about it. It's weird.
Other near-death experiences were like drugs and, all that kind of stuff, suicide, and the things that we've dealt with over the past. Most of it's on Erase Me, or actually most of our records come from a mindset of that and stuff that we've lived through. If you go read any of our records, you can pretty much dissect the story of me and Aaron, pretty much. Yo, what's up? I'm Spencer, and this is Aaron from the band Underoath.
Hey, for more videos, please subscribe to APTV.